not least, we have our job search agent, which we mentioned earlier. This is really nice because it's an automatic way to have ePACK searching while you're not on it. So you're going to come to the jobs and internships, you're going to go to ePACK jobs, you're going to read this little blurb because it's helpful, but I'm not going to read it to you. You're going to come to the right side of the search button, you're going to click Advanced Search, and here you can specify to your heart's content. Here you can choose whether you want all jobs and interviews, you can choose just interviews, you can choose just jobs, you can choose a major or concentration, so I am in Applied Mathematics. I'm going to choose that one. Let's just have fun. Go crazy. You can choose an area. If you don't want to go out of the state, maybe you have to stay with family or something, you can specify that. You can also choose an industry, position type. Let's say I want to look for co-ops and internships. Sometimes if you just click, it doesn't work. So if you hold down Control, you can click on other options as well. Then there's some little buttons. You could exclude jobs that you've already looked at. You could include only your major, little job function. Nationwide jobs, let's say, no, I don't want to exclude nationwide jobs. I want to go everywhere. And search. So this has narrowed down the thousands of results to 46 results. Now let's say I would like this to keep searching as new jobs and internships are added. I can go over here to Save Search. I can type in my search, mathematics internship, and it will send you an email daily, every other day, weekly, monthly, or quarterly. I enjoy the weekly because sometimes these aren't updated as often as every day. I only want new results. And we'll save that, and that is now your job search agent, and it will creep around and look around for jobs for you.
One thing I wanted to mention, back on the interview thing, we have something called mock interviews. I know for the semester's already closed, but if you've never been on an interview before, you're super nervous, we have professionals, HR recruiters actually volunteer their time to mock interview NC State people. You send them your resume through ePACK, back on the interview link that Claire told you, and they pretend to be the HR person of that company, and they ask you real interview questions, real scenarios, so you can practice. And it's about 15 minutes of interviewing and about 10 minutes of recap where they give you feedback, what you did good on, what you could work on, and how to straighten your answers. So that when you do get an actual interview, it's not the first time you've been in an interview and you have a lot more to talk about.
One thing that I did forget to mention is sometimes the job applications will say you are not qualified, and there's a little blurb on the right side of the screen that will tell you why. Sometimes it's a year issue, sometimes it's a major issue, and if you have any questions about these, let's say you're a junior and the position's only open for seniors, you can contact the CDC and sometimes the people who have the job position open, and they can work with you.
That's a great point. All right, so if you've gone to look for a job before or been to a career fair, you know how important experiences are, especially if you're a freshman or sophomore, you haven't gotten that experience in your major yet. Don't panic, there's still hope. One of 5 main categories that people can get experiences through research. NC State has huge, almost every major has undergraduate research. And one of the best ways to apply for these positions, sometimes they're not posted. If you're in a class where you really, really, really enjoy the concept of the class, if you know that professor is a researcher as well, you can go to their office hours or send them emails to talk to them about your interests. And I've had friends that got in research positions by just doing that. Just talking to the professor, telling them how interested they are in the research, telling them their ideas, and telling them that they're looking for research positions. If there's application open, to let them know, or if they're looking for an undergrad. Sometimes it may start as unpaid, and eventually you get a paid position.
And sometimes they personally won't have a position open, but they can recommend other professors doing similar research that might have a position open. And then you have a whole new list of people to go to.
Yeah, and experience is a crucial research is a crucial experience, especially if you're going to grad school. We've had a fellow CA who's done research in the past, and he told us that his entire grad school interview focused majority on his research. They kept asking about it. They wanted to learn more. So it can be a tremendous, sometimes like even more important than internship based on what post-graduation field you're going into. Another avenue is co-op. I've actually done a co-op. A co-op is basically like an extended internship. You rotate between a semester of school, you take a semester off school, and work a full semester in industry as a full-time employee. They're mostly paid. They started out in the college engineering, but I know lately it's been branching off into other majors too, and usually their pay is a lot, very, very good. Next one is volunteer opportunities. This is very crucial, especially for people going into the med school routes, where you can volunteer at animal shelters or hospitals and gain experience in the field you wanted to go to, or do one abroad, or even here in the US. And those are usually, you can search through online or ePACK, or even just talk to your advisor. Another one that the CDC does is called externship. It's like a 1 or 2 day job shadowing. I did one my freshman year. It's open to freshmen and sophomores. Basically, you spend a day or two going to some company. I went to Schneider Electric. NC State provided transportation and food to take us there. We networked with executives, talked to the president, and I talked to real engineers that had been in the field for years. Back in my freshman year, I haven't decided on my major, so I used this as an opportunity to see what a day in the life of an electrical engineer looks like, and talk to them about some of the trends going on in industry, and just to understand more examples and what I was getting myself into before I actually got myself into. Last but not least, you can get a lot of experience from job organizations. We've been told that employers, when they hire someone, are looking for about 4 main competencies. Are you good at communication? Can you do critical thinking? Can you work with a team? So those are all experiences that you can get while working on a team. If you're president, if you're treasurer, if you're in any kind of leadership position, you have to use a lot of these skills that employees are looking for. And these involvement in these organizations can lead to great interview questions or things that you can talk about during your interview. Does anyone have any questions? All right, so next we're going to move on to professional organizations. NC State has a plethora, almost every demographic has some kind of professional organization here on campus. And membership in these organizations give you access to conferences, forums, message boards, scholarship, job search, and other things. The internship I'm going to be doing this summer is an intern at G Healthcare, and I got this internship by going to the Society of Women Engineers National Conference, and the conference had gigantic career fairs, even bigger than the one at NC State, and they have a lot more free swag. And I talked to GE as well as other companies at this career fair. They come to this career fair specifically to hire female engineers as well as other engineers. And they use permanent organizations like these that are linked to certain demographics to include diversity in their workplace, as well as get it. Some of them have strong relationships with these professional organizations, and a lot of alumni that refer their chapter or their organization whenever it is hiring. So it's a great avenue for networking. You can use it as informational sections. I know for some of these organizations have weekly meetings where they actually invite employers to come and talk to students. So if you have an employer that you've applied online and you know you're one of 1,000 and something that have already applied, talking face-to-face with that employer could increase your chances. And like I said, it's a great network opportunity. Even if you don't get a job out of it, there's always something to learn. And last but not least, usually student memberships are usually a lot cheaper. I know for my Tau Beta Pi, which is the Engineering Honor Society, the membership for all 4 years was $85, versus if you're a professional, it was like hundreds of dollars. So you do get a lot of discounts, and they do have lots of good avenues, scholarships, networking, and job searches.
All right, so, this technology won't work with us. There we go.
Dang.
There we go. All right, so career fairs. I mentioned it slightly earlier, but when you're going through this job search and your internship search, these are really good events. just for in order to network and even just trying to land a job or an internship. There are lots of employers, lots of different companies who are just sitting there, and they are there to talk and meet with you and get to know you, and they're trying to find people that are good fits for their company. So it's awesome places to go. Please continue to take advantage of that. No matter if you're freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, they're good places to go. And then lastly, the other good thing is when you get to see these employers at the career fairs, unlike just the online applications through ePACK and things of that nature, it's a face-to-face human interaction, and they can put a name, they can put a face to that name and the resume that you might be handing them, or if you have a business card, the business card you might be handing them. They're able to connect those two. So I always say a face-to-face interaction is always the best. So again, those career fairs, take advantage of those during the search, no matter when. And so another topic I want to talk about is like contract or temporary work. So if you're having trouble finding landing like a job or an internship, temporary work is an option you're having, especially like I said, if you're trying to find a full-time position somewhere and you just want like flexibility and you want to continue to gain experience. Better than just sitting and like doing absolutely nothing. Because the benefit of doing that is you continue to gain experience, you can build your resume, gain possibly some transferable skills. You're meeting more people at this particular job, so again, a networking opportunity, being able to expand your network. Also the possibility of being hired full-time. Just because you're working somewhere temporarily, depending on how you're doing, if you're a good fit for the company, if they really begin to like you, that can easily lead to a full-time position. So take advantage of this option. And the other benefit is, especially if you're still taking classes, you have the flexibility of working around your academic schedule as well. So do not count this option out. And I didn't know if y'all had anything to add at all on this. Okay. And are there any questions so far? All right.
So, last step, go do it. Do it now. Start right now, go search, go get your stuff together, have fun. Now you know how to use ePACK. So, before we finish up, I would like you guys to take out your phones and you can either type in this nice URL or you can Snapchat this, what is it, a QR code?
QR code, yeah.
Yep, that code.
Doubles as a QR scanner. Learned that recently. Did not know Snapchat did that.
Yes, thank you, Neil, for knowing technology as I do
Educating
not.
us.
There you go.
Yes, so it's just a little survey about the presentation.
Yeah, we're always looking for avenues to improve, so we greatly appreciate feedback on what we did good, what we could work on, so next time it's even better.
And then also sometime soon, I forgot to touch on that a bit, career ambassador position, like the application stuff may open very soon. I know it tends to open, I don't know, do we have a date yet?
Today.
Today, I knew it was soon, that's why I figured I knew it was soon.
Well, later tonight.
Later tonight, don't do this. Yeah, but definitely recommend checking it out. It's a nice program, help you improve like your presenting skills, as well as, again, you're very involved with the Career Development Center, so helping network and get even better in there. So definitely check that out. And also one thing I wanted to touch on, because I know we mentioned a little earlier about when we had the little beginning activity and just like what you want to get out of the presentation. One thing I wanted to touch on, I did have an awesome question somebody had about maybe when you graduate, like how involved is like the Career Development Center still? Like, can you still kind of utilize some resources? And one thing I wanted to mention, after you graduate, ePACK is still available for you as an alumni, as well as some of this career development resources. So it's not as soon as you graduate, the Career Development Center just like disappears and we're like done. So you're still able to utilize and take advantage of some of those resources.
And you could even contact them further if you network with the people in the Career Development Center, and you can contact them for years.
Exactly.
ePACK is available 1 full year after your graduation. And so it's most of the Career Center services. After that, we're praying you get a job, settle, and you're on your own into the adult world.
But again, like I said, networking, especially if you can get in the Career Development Center, as Claire said, you can stay involved for a while. So lastly, before we finish, did y'all have any questions at all for us?
Comments or
Besides
concerns?
crickets.
Is it a
Feel free to
Monday
ask us
after
questions
why it
afterwards
was so
if you do have
quiet?
You guys.
It's a Monday after spring break, right?
Right.
Okay.
But thank y'all so much for coming.
Yeah, thank
And
you for
happy-
spending the evening.
Happy y'all can make it. Hope y'all have a good rest of your day.
Woo!